Hey, thanks for tuning in to Get Real with Miss Lorinder. Can women really have it all? A happy marriage, a great job, and have kids? And when a mother has to go back to work, does she feel huge pains of guilt for leaving her child at home while she gets back to her pre-pregnancy 9-to-5 work day? And if she does, is it fair that she feels guilty? Before you weigh in on this issue, let me tell you what a recent study showed in December's issue of Journal of Family Psychology. The study said that working mothers reported being healthier and happier than their stay-at-home counterparts. Based on the data that was tracked over a span of 10 years, the author of the study came to the conclusion that a working mom is actually healthier mentally, which supports her parenting skills. So I guess it makes sense because being able to be a mom and maintain your career can be empowering for a woman, and that feeling has all sorts of benefits. Either way, if you stay at home or return to work, you're still pretty amazing. I was able to chat with one mom who has returned to work recently after 11 months off after having her second child. She's a famous mom who you've come to know as a very entertaining, beautiful, and gracious television personality, Tarannum. She returned to work as an entertainment reporter for OMNI News Punjabi edition this week, and this working mom gets real about the art of balancing motherhood, a happy marriage, and a career, and about domestic violence. So you're going to be returning to OMNI.
Yeah.
After being away for 11 months, how do you feel about returning to work?
Oh my gosh, I'm going through these whirlwind of emotions, Lorinder. With Zia, after 5 months, I was ready to go back. I was like, oh my God, I need to go back to work. I miss it so much. And there is a huge amount of emotion I'm going through. There are days when I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to go back and, do this and get back to my routine and get out of my pajamas and do what I do best. But on the other hand, I am going to miss these two kids. I mean, they're the love of my life. And for them not to have me around is a void, yes. But at the same time, having a family again makes a big difference. Physically, to take 50 pounds off after the pregnancy was a huge undertaking. I still have about 10 more pounds at 2 weeks to lose. So that's definitely been a huge challenge. I was going to take a shorter leave, but because of my dad's passing, I felt like I really needed some time to heal. And I feel like I'm ready to come back to work for sure. And I love the fact that I'm coming back in spring. There's lots happening in the city, and there is, lots of concerts and a lot of entertainment stuff that's around, and it gives me an opportunity to actually get out and do the show, which I used to love doing. So a lot of on-location stuff is something I'm looking forward to. I am going through the feeling of self-doubt that I've been away for a year. How am I going to perform in front of the camera? So I don't know. But people say that it's like riding a bike. So it looks like, it comes naturally, and I love what I do. To me, it's not a job. It's my passion. The big responsibility is having a balance now. Yes, you're not able to attend anything and everything that comes your way. So you have to balance it out in that sense. But I'm excited. I'm so excited to come back.
I think new moms or women that are planning to have a baby for the first time would want to hear from you how motherhood changed you as a person.
I think, all your life, your friends or family who've had kids, they tell you how life-changing motherhood or parenthood in general can be. And once you have your first child in your arms, everything around you does change in a lot of ways. I mean, physically, obviously, it brings about a lot of changes to a woman, which takes a lot of emotional distress, I would say, as well. It takes a toll on you. You've gone through a lot physically, emotionally, but at the same time, as a person, it's calmed me down a lot more. Your perspective towards life changes. Your main focus is not about how to get ahead in your career, and you're less, I wouldn't say less ambitious, but there's a certain amount of responsibility on your shoulders to raise this child into a good human being. And that becomes your focus, and everything else comes secondary. I feel like I'm not in the race, anymore. There is more to my life than just work. My family, my kids are my priority now. So that's definitely brought about the change, and you're living as an example. So it makes you a better person consciously, because your kids are watching you do and say a certain things, and they are gonna follow your footsteps. So that has brought about a lot of change. So consciously, Riz and I have become better people, I think, in my eyes.
You've been working at OMNI for over 6 years.
Yeah.
You started out with Fusion Fair. That was first, right?
Yeah. Community M, Fusion Fair, Chai Time. Yeah.
Now you're the entertainment reporter.
Yes, I am, for the news. Yes.
So you've done extremely well in the broadcast industry. What inspired you to pursue this as a career?
Wow. I think I always had the bug in me, if I may say. My father and my mom, actually, both of them are very well-known theater personalities back home in India. So I've grown up doing theater. I wasn't an excellent student by any means, but I was very popular. And I think the reason for that was that I was really good on stage. So anytime there was a debate or declamation or poetry recital and dramas, I was always the first person teachers would select. So I was very good on stage from the get-go. I remember I was I was 4 when I did my first stage performance. As a child, Lorinder, you won't believe this, I used to, when I was in grade 5 or 6 with my friend, we used to do mock interviews. I used to pretend that I was a celebrity and she would do the interview, and then we would switch. So this is something that has always been there. You know, when they say there are signs. Then on the dinner table, I would take a newspaper and pretend to be a news anchor to my family. So they had to be quiet and listen to me reading the news. So those signs were definitely there. And then you come to Canada, completely new environment, new country, new language, new everything. It was a huge change. So you do what everybody tells you to do. Do computers and do this. This is good for you and that's good for you. Start volunteering. And broadcasting was never ever on the agenda by any means. But then I met my husband, Riz, and Riz and I started going out, and I said to him, this is what I love to do. And he goes to me, it'll be a shame if you don't pursue it. And I somehow got the courage to, when my first show was announced that they were looking for a television host, it was on Channel M. Channel M had just launched, and they were doing a South Asian show called Javani. And when they made that announcement, I don't know what took over me. I had no experience. I just picked up the phone and said, I would like to come audition for it. And I got selected. So that was definitely what kickstarted the career. And after that, I've been very, very blessed to have the people or the bosses who have had the faith in me to give me the opportunities. How you make the most of those opportunities is entirely up to you. But even having those people in your life who put so much faith in you than you have in yourself definitely is a huge asset, and I've been very blessed to have those people.
Being in the public eye, that also comes with a lot of fame, but it also comes with a lot of scrutiny. There's always someone in the crowd that wants to say something negative about you. How have you handled that? I'd like to hear how you used to handle it when you first started to how you handle it now.
How I used to handle it was by closing the door, banging the door, and crying in my office. That was something that I wasn't prepared for. When you're 22 years old and you're doing your first television show, and people are saying you should not be wearing those clothes, and you're a Punjabi girl, and you're supposed to act a certain way, and your language is fine, but how about those sleeveless tops and this and that? So those things you take to your heart, and you're like, oh my God, for my name, why do I have a Muslim name or an Urdu name? I got scrutinized for that. And then there's people who come up to you and say, oh my God, you're so short in real life. And you just like, okay, what is going on? Why is everything about me? You go through that self-doubt. Right. And I did go through that. But you have to live and learn. I have much more of a thick skin than I used to. I can laugh it off now. If somebody comes up to me and say, hey, you put on a lot of weight, I can laugh it off. And you have to take it in your stride. And I think you have to learn that you are in the lives of these people every single day. And they've seen me through being single, to getting married, to having the first child, having the second child. They've been extremely supportive.
So the South Asian community has proven to be proactive in a lot of different causes. Anything from raising awareness about health issues like cardiovascular health or diabetes to promoting Bhangra competitions and even hosting forums like for gang violence, for example. So what issue do you think that the community needs to work harder on to make some real changes?
I still feel that there's not enough dialogue about domestic violence in the community. Every time there is a case of violence, whether it's a female or a male who's gone through the violence or a child, there's a huge uproar. People start talking about it. There's radio shows. You see it in the print, and then it just fades away instantly. And we talk about it for a few days, and then there's nothing that's done about it. There is nobody coming together and talking about the root causes. There's nobody who's talking about the solutions to this aggression that's being caused. I don't understand it. I've never gone through it, but at the same time, I feel a certain amount of responsibility for these women and children and men who are going through it. If we can prevent it in the future, and we can take some preventative measures, I don't see that we are working towards those measures by any means as a community, and I think that's what's lacking. I would like to see more of that. I don't know what the solutions are, but to start a dialogue even in the community, there's certain things in our community that are still taboo, and this is definitely one of them. So I would like to see more and more people have the courage to come out and talk about their experiences and give courage to other people who are going through it and do something about it before it's too late.
Has anyone ever asked you who your favorite Bollywood actor and actress is?
Nobody has ever asked me that.
I want to know this.
I've always asked people that question.
I know.
Nobody has ever asked me that.
Let me be the first.
I love that. My ever favorite Bollywood actor is Amir Khan. I love Amir Khan, and I have not had the opportunity to meet him yet. And I always say that the day I interview Amir Khan, I'm going to retire.
Really?
That will be it. No, I won't. But that'll be an absolute pleasure. I've been following his work since Qiyamah Se Qiyamah Tak. And I get giddy-eyed even now when I talk about him. And this is the funniest story. Zia was a breech baby. So she was scheduled to be born on March 14th. Our surgery was supposed to be, on March 14th, which happens to be Amir Khan's birthday. And that made me so excited, I can't even tell you. And the phone call I made to Riz was like, from my office. I went, oh my God, they gave me March 14th, Riz. Can you believe it? And he was surprised. He goes, why? And I said, it's Amir Khan's birthday. You have no idea. And it turned out to be March 17th. It wasn't meant to be St. Patrick's Day instead, but Amir Khan, yes. An actress, did you say?
Yes.
My favorite actress. Wow. In recent times, I would say Vidya Balan. I'm in complete awe of this woman. She's gone against the norm. She's proven to be the complete opposite of what an Indian film actress is supposed to be. That for the last few years, I just did not like the way things were going, the way the women were being portrayed on screen, the whole size 0 and minis, and women were there just to add glamour to the it's always been like that traditionally, but at the same time it's nice to see the change in cinema. It's nice to see people going to watch the film without a hero, without a Khan, without a Kapoor, just for Vidya Balan. And I think she's done a great job. Yeah. And I've seen her from day one when she used to do the TV show Hum Panch. So as an actress, with every single film, she's growing. And it will be an absolute pleasure to sit down with her one day. I look forward to that for sure.
Who have you interviewed that had you sort of starstruck?
Starstruck? A.R. Rahman.
Oh, really?
It was after the Oscar. I had to pinch myself. And A.R. Rahman is somebody, again, these are the people that I've looked up to growing up. Yeah. I mean, his Dil To Chota Sa was the first song that he had produced for Roja. And when that song came out, at that time we used to have audio cassettes. So in the entire cassette, I had that one song. So I used to listen to it over and over again. So Rahman is somebody that he is the man who took us to the Oscars, won 2 Oscars for Slumdog. You just imagine that one day you'll sit down with somebody like him and interview him. And when he's there in front of you, I was completely starstruck, and he made me so comfortable.
Oh, that's good.
He was probably, and the image that I had of Rahman was that he's very boring. You know, he's so used to being in the studio and not saying much and just producing his music kind of guy. He's not going to say much, and I wasn't expecting a lot from this interview. And he completely proved me wrong. Wow. He was funny. He had a great sense of humor. He was charming, very sweet, very down to earth, and a total icon. You meet him and you're like, you deserve all the success you've gotten.
Fabulous.
Yeah, you deserve it for sure.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for the chat. I enjoyed interviewing you.
Oh, I loved being interviewed. It was so nice to be on the other side for a change. Thank you, Lorinder. I mean, I understand that I'm the first person that you're interviewing for this show, and I'm truly, truly flattered. And I'm so glad to see that you're actually back doing what you love to do. This is your passion, and this is how I met you.
Yes.
I'm very happy for you, this new endeavor. This is exciting. I can't wait to hear all about it.
Thank you very much. That was my interview with Tarannum Thind. She's the entertainment reporter for OMNI News Punjabi Edition. She's back at it. You can catch her weekdays at 9 p.m. on OMNI. And if you have any questions, comments, or you want to send me an idea for a topic, you can email me, misslorinder@yahoo.com. Thanks for tuning in.